All right, folks, good afternoon. Welcome to Accelerated Retirement this Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Let me turn this light off. I think it was too bright yesterday, some folks were saying. So let's get airborne, man. Extremely fired up that we're going to be opening 50 slots, 50 potential new memberships, or maybe that actually did worse. Really don't need this on anyway. But anyway, Dennis grabbed $1,500 in profit on yesterday's S&P 500 call in less than 24 hours. Nice call, Wiz. You bet, man. We're going to be covering that and the nearly $7,000 in trades from this portfolio, Accelerated Retirement, that we had in 1 week. On Friday, as I was up in Vermont, those 3 trades expired for $66.75 in profit. 1 week, folks. So when I open these slots right now, if we don't get 50 today and tomorrow, you're nuts. If you're not a member here, I have no idea what it's going to take to get you on board, because men lie, numbers don't, and we're showing you all the trades. We're one of the only financial training services out there that does this. You guys go to all those seminars, right? The webinars, and 45 minutes of some dude or some lady talking about swing this and Fibonacci that or this or whatever, and here's what I've done in the past. I could care less what you did in the past. Be present. What are you doing today? Show me some of your real trades, and what are you doing right now? I do that. Nobody else does that. So don't throw your money after those folks. Here's what we've done so far. Monday night, we did a welcome aboard brief. Yesterday, we did a great primary live trade brief. We got bearish on China, which I'd get even more bearish after what's happened in Hong Kong. FXI is going to implode, as I predicted, and we're going to print money on that trade. S&P 500. Told you yesterday, probably a little bit more aggressive trade. I did it. I got filled on it. I said 3,000 is going to kind of be this resistance short term. I'd close that trade right now for about well, let's take a look. How many of you got filled on that one yesterday? Right there, look at that. So right now, this trade is up 90%. Let me get a hell yeah if you would have loved $1,500 in your pocket in 1 day on one trade. You're going to find out in a couple minutes that would pay for a defensive maximum full throttle slot here, folks. One trade. Wow. Hey, you know what, Charles? Let me share this if you don't mind. Let me take a screenshot of the chat box here, guys. Look at this. At 12:59, Charles wrote. Good. Well, Harry. Hey, good afternoon, Harry. Harry's always in here early saying good afternoon. Charles, I am on my 2nd month of full throttle and solo. I've been very pleased with my results and what I have learned. I have never seen an approach like this to trading options by having a strategic mindset. Wanted to thank you for the opportunity to be a member. I have made over 10 times the full throttle membership cost by applying what I have learned so far. My biggest winner is a synthetic on Apple, where I doubled my investment in 2 months. Awesome. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that, my friend. Just here 2 months. And then Dennis is down there below. Grab $1,500 on yesterday's SPX spread for $1,500. There it is right there. Look at that. I just grabbed a screenshot of that. Everybody take a second to read that, because when I open the slots here, and it looks like 2 people already grabbed their slots, because you guys probably watched the sit rep. I teased a little in the sit rep what we're going to do, but look at that. 2 months, folks. I want to grab a cleaner screenshot of that so I can use that. So nice job, Charles. I'm glad you're enjoying your full throttle membership. And Dennis, nicely done, man. 1 day, $1,500. And I do another one for Friday. Maybe we'll do another one of those today out the Friday. We're heading down here, folks. This is I'm telling you, we're heading down, and I'm usually right on those. Let's see, Charles. Yeah. I mean, Charles been here a month. You can read what he wrote, man. He's doing the Lord's work here. All right, so let's do that. This trade is up 91%. $1,500 in a day. I'd close that out. Don't sit here, folks. How much is left in this trade? $150. Who's going to sit here for the next 3 hours and 56 minutes or whatever, 2 hours and 56 minutes, and try and squeeze another $150 out of this? Pigs get slaughtered. Just like Stephen Miller said, go and take the money and run. With our luck, Donald Trump comes out, walking out to Marine One and says, I just signed the trade deal. Everything's fantastic. Market pops, and you turn a 91% winning trade into a 100% losing trade. This is what I talked about the other night. Do not do that. So close this trade and take the max profit. So Trump just said he plans to meet China. Mr. G would be meeting in Chile. Yeah, the next, what is it, the G whatever summit's coming up down in Chile. Folks, does everybody remember what happened in Buenos Aires, Argentina? Let me refresh your memory. Down at the, was it a G20? I don't even remember what the hell the meeting was. Xi and Trump met down there. President Xi promised to ban opioids and kill people in China who exported opioids to the United States. He promised to buy $1 billion in soybeans. He promised everything, and he did nothing. It sounds stupid. If I were the president, I'd just shut up. I know that's physically impossible for the man, but I wouldn't say another word about trade. Oh, thank you, Tamara. Let me read that. And I'm reading these, folks, because I'm about to open up the slots. And if you don't grab yours, you're nuts. And all the services I've checked out, TGO is the only one that shows real-time trading, both before I joined and does what he states he will do for you after. Thank you, Tamara. All right, so let me let's get going, because I want to open up the doors here and get people going. Usually, I'll just let's press forward with the brief here, because a lot of and I appreciate Tamara and folks like that, and Charles and Dennis chiming in with stuff, is because once people become members here, it's like, where have you been all my life type of thing, and it's hard to drag people in. But once they're in, they're like, well, that was stupid that it took me this long, or there was any doubt. But I'm going to push you over the edge here. So right now we are in accelerated retirement. It's supposed to be up until Donald Trump became president, got us into a trade war. We were a little bit more longer term focused. We only traded leaps or 2-year out positions in this portfolio. Now you have to trade the market you have and be very, 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 very tactical. So we're in AR. Tonight at 9 p.m., grab a glass of wine. Let's sit here, and I'm gonna give you a sample of the training that you're gonna get here at Top Gun Options. Okay, so tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we're going to analyze across the portfolios and see if we have any adjustments to make or exit or anything like that. And we'll just do kind of a weekly debrief. Usually, I don't do anything on Fridays. Only coaching. One-on-one coaching with my members, higher dollar coaching. We can talk about that offline. But this Friday, since it's full throttle, we're going to take a look at, I'm going to introduce you to our weekly option service. Based on the now 6 people who have signed up, I don't know if we're going to have any monthly slots by Friday. So up to you, man. So quick brief, we're going to do AR, Accelerated Retirement, is every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. 1 hour, folks, so we got a lot to do. I'll do a quick intro. We're talking about closing that SPX profit or trade for one-day profit of $1,500. We're going to open the slots here. I'm going to do another SOT, Strategic Operational Tactical. In the old days, not too much would change from day to day. This market, everything changes from day to day, from Turkey to the trade deal to Hong Kong to impeachment, you name it, it's changing. Absolutely need this every day. And I appreciate what Chuck said. He's like, I've never seen anybody with this type of methodology. There are not too many people running around with a Top Gun patch on their shoulder who also ran a multi-billion-dollar trading firm. So this is it. We're going to debrief our accelerated retirement portfolio and what we did last week. 3 trades, 3 kills, $6,700 in profit. Beautiful. And then we're going to cover a couple new trades. Definitely going to talk about volatility. Got to get long volatility. It's about to get nuts. But if you don't sign up and get into full throttle after seeing $7,000 in profit in the past couple days, I don't know what to tell you, period. Please don't sign up if there's any debate, because if there's any doubt, there's no doubt. Last quarter was the best quarter in my 27 years, 92% win rate. From October 1st to now is almost better than the entire third quarter. We're having a blast with this volatility, this implosion, the explosion. We are counteracting every one of these market moves, and it has paid off. And we got a lot on the radar to discuss today. You guys have met me by now. Went from the cockpit to the trading pit. Always interested in finance. Took everything I learned flying a fighter aircraft, put it into trading, and I'm going to teach you how to do the same thing. Right? How do we battle complexity with simplicity? So I boil it down to caveman, cavewomanish approach. Why? Because in the middle of the heat of battle, folks, the heat of trading, you shouldn't be having to think about a kabillion things. It should be already done. A couple of you were asking questions the other day. I'm like, after I went through the trade plan on a couple of our trades, this is why we call it a brief, folks. When I'm flying in that Hornet, it's pretty quiet. Why? Even with 100 airplanes, like the Battle of Britain going on, it's quiet. Because if everything's going as briefed, you don't say a word. We already talked about all this stuff. Now, if something happens airborne that we just didn't expect, all right, now let's start talking. Okay? So went from that, went up to Chicago, options capital of the world, built the Options News Network, the CNBC for options, hosted a bunch of the TV shows, and then moved down here to South Florida and started my own, man. I'd rather put the ladder down than make a bunch of other rich partners even richer. Made no sense to me, and did not like the, step over your own mother to make a dollar Wall Street type of folks. That ain't me. You put the ladder down, you help folks out. That's what I'm going to do for you. Q4 is going to be awesome. Trump trade deal, not going to happen. In this quarter, between now and December 31st, my birthday, subtle hint, Hong Kong's going to implode. I'm already seeing bad stuff on forecast for the weekend. They arrested one of the protest leaders, and Chief Executive Lam said 0 concessions, and we might call in the army. Does that sound like a position they're going to back down from if you're President Xi Jinping? So as he's meeting with the president in Chile, shaking hands and saying, I'll buy a couple soybeans as tanks roll into Hong Kong, what do you think is going to happen? There will be no trade. There can't be a deal, folks. Lindsey Graham, Republicans have already said, nope, absolutely no deal if they steamroll into Hong Kong. We're going to talk about the Fed. We have QE4 going on, but it's not QE4, but it's going on. The Fed's propping up this market, and I use the analogy, if you grew up around the age when I did, Fred Sanford, right? Once an episode, he'd grab his chest, Lamont, you big dummy, this is the big one. The big one is coming. I don't want to sound like the crazy guy on the exit ramp of I-95 with the end is near sign, but he's going to be right, and I'm going to be right. I just got to hone in my timing here. When markets realize that central banks are full of it, we're in trouble. Not us. We're going to profit off of it. Iran, Saudi Arabia, we're going to brief on that today. There will be significant military action in this quarter. The VIX will explode. The market will implode. I guarantee it. When you hear me say that word, sit up in your chair and pay attention. There will be large-scale military action in Q4. Earnings. How about yesterday? Yay, JP Morgan, market's going to go up on earnings. I'm like, did you not see Goldman Sachs? And then what happened today? Retail sales, implosion. Bank of America sucks. We went up yesterday in JP Morgan earnings. Did you not listen to the conference call where the guy gave a forward look that said, yeah, this isn't, we're not too bullish into the future. So, get ready for volatile Q4. If that sounds scary on that screen, you don't know what you're doing. You have to be here. I love what's on that screen. I don't love it as an American. I don't like the volatility. I don't like impeachment. I don't like war. I don't like, Hong Kong protesters, getting stomped on by LeBron James. I don't like that stuff on the screen. But as Gordon Gekko, as the CEO, as the portfolio manager here, I think that's freaking fantastic what's on the screen, and we're going to print money, right? Give me a vertical head nod. So let's get airborne. How do you take your portfolio supersonic? How do you be like Charles? How do you be like Tamara? Tamara didn't know what an option was 2-3 years ago, and now she's a Jedi master in this stuff. You can do it too. So let's go ahead and get airborne. A couple other folks. Arnie, he comes to all these, even though he's a member, he comes to these free full throttle weeks to kind of hear the background and also the trade plan again. Wiz, from a current TGO member, these are always great reviews for me. Trading a small, somebody asked me just a little while ago about a small account. Didn't ignore you. I knew I was going to tell you about Arnie. Trading a small account, I'm up over 75% in the past 3 months. Is that what's the past 3 months, folks? The third quarter. Following your insight and tactics, very happy. JG, I would like to thank you, Wiz, TGO, and your mentoring. I've netted 15 grand this month. Nice. Ron, thanks for the 36 grand so far this year. You're welcome. Scotty, Wiz, only been a member for 2 weeks. I'm up $8,178 in closed trades, Facebook, S&P 500, and Amazon. Nice job. Chuck, Wiz, I used your intelligence and made $9,500 one day shorting NDX and SPX options. Hell yeah. Love that. Ron, so folks, here's another small account guy. Ron, been trading with you since 2011. The guy's been here 9 years. He started with 6 grand up to $175,000. Small account. Building block approach, folks. This was 2 days ago or whenever, October 8th. Wiz, you are crushing it. Been following you a couple weeks. This is on StockTwits. I post, some stuff on StockTwits. Almost doubled a very small account in 2 weeks. Simply leave other services in the dirt. By the way, Jets pound them into the dirt along with the market when it's warranted to have a good time up north. This was before I went up to Vermont. Okay, so don't take it from me, folks. Take it from other people. Our Q3 performance, best return since we got airborne, and our Q4 is on track to be even better. How's the smart money doing? For those of you who sit here and say, oh, I wish I was in hedge fund. No, you don't. This is data at the end of last month from 3,200 hedge funds. They're up 7% this year. We're up 7% in a day, folks. You do not. So the smart money ain't that smart, folks. You don't want to be in a hedge fund. You can do this on your own, right? So we're outperforming the hedge funds, the smart money. I showed you already how we traded volatility in the third quarter, 23 grand, how we traded the S&P 500. Look at that, 25 grand plus this one, maybe 20, 26, $27,000. Been trading China and Brazil, the emerging markets, having an absolute blast. Proven track record, folks. You see it. This ain't no, hey, check out these 98 PowerPoint slides. You're looking at it. Now, do not sit here and think that I am absolute Captain America Superman. The objective is to win the war, folks. We lose some battles. Losing trades happen. I got blown out of the top of an iron condor last week in XLY in a separate service. I think we got blown out of a China trade a couple weeks ago on, hey, maybe good news. But it was not good news. So losing trades happens, folks. Remember, I didn't like this guy too much. Donald Rumsfeld, he said in combat, as in trading, I said that, there's known knowns, right? There's things we know that we know. Then he said there's known unknowns, right? Then he said there are unknown unknowns. There are things that we don't know that we don't know. I remember when Mnuchin, this is what it was. Mnuchin was like getting on an airplane to go to China. He's like, we're 90% of the way done. We're 90% of we got a deal. Forget about it. We're talking about what salad dressing to use at the signing ceremony. We're good. Sunday, the president had him on an airplane coming home, and that's one of the bad trades I had, right? So that was an unknown unknown. Joel, another small account guy. I turned a $10,000 account into $20,000 over 3 months, right? So let's go ahead and press on here. Ed, I trade live over at Trade Station since I'm a veteran, and so we instruct on this E-Trade platform. Growth of a hypothetical 10 grand invested here 10 years ago, $3.8 million, folks. How'd you feel with $4 million during that time? Over an 80% annualized return during that time. Guys, thanks for all the case studies in the chat box. I'll kind of read these at the end. Everybody's popping in here. This is awesome. Thanks, Larry. I'm gonna copy that one down as well. Well, let me just I'll read this one. Matt, I'll open up this. People are like, okay, dude, I get it. When do we get to the fireworks factory? I'll open up the slots in a second here, but let me show you what Matt had to say. Oh, I'm sorry, Larry. Larry's been a member for a little bit here. I'll read it to you. I always look at the full throttle training, learn something every time, helps clear up stuff I thought I had down. The live briefs are awesome. How many other companies do that? Live every week, and honestly shows you the losers and winners. Choose your, let me scroll this up. Pull this down. Well, should be, choose your partners wisely. It sounds like, Larry, that sounds like a life lesson, man. So you're right. Let me save that one. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and get through this because I need to, I'm not a, the marketing stuff I have to do. Obviously, I can't stand it. I'd rather, I'd rather talk trading and stuff, which we're going to do. But you can start with a little $5,000. But what would you do with $4 million, man? If you were here since day one, Shrek. That's not his God-given name. I went through Top Gun with Shrek. He's a Marine. He's a colonel in the Marine Corps. He's flying the Joint Strike Fighter, the F-35. Check out what he had to say. Have a great weekend, brother. I'm going to put my down payment on a Cessna 210. That was my goal for the year, up $20,000 in 3 months. Right? 3 months. So, love it. What do you need to trade successfully, guys? It's Top Gun options. You need to be trained. There ain't no education, folks. The world's full of educated derelicts, and I saw a lot of them on the stage at CNN last night, right? Oh, Dutch, that's a long one. Let me, I'm going to grab that one after and tell everybody about it after that. I appreciate that, Dutch. Great testimonials, guy. I appreciate this. I love when you guys talk for me. Save as Dutch. I'm going to read that one at the end, Dutch. Thank you. Because people are chomping at the bit to get airborne here. Sorry. I should have asked you guys to do that before, but no, keep them coming, man. Okay. You need training. I'm going to train you. You need a plan, man. How many of you don't have to answer, how many of you had a 7-step trade plan before you came to Top Gun Options? You didn't. I know you didn't because you didn't see it before you got here. Natalia, we have a lot of folks up in Chicago. What else do you need? Practical applications. So you're going to get the training. You get the 8 full throttle sessions, and then you get in here and do it. What did I tell you we do in the military? Demo, do, approach. Demo, Larry had 2 steps, get in and get out. Absolutely not. Now you have a 7-step trade plan. I've been there. If you're sitting there going, how's this dude know what I need? I've been you. Look at that picture. I don't even think I was old. I wasn't tall enough to ride that ride. That's me as a lieutenant. I was you. I'd go to these seminars at the Marriott near the airport and drink really cold coffee, and some guy in a really bad suit with a Rolex on his hand would be like, "Oh, this is a put and this is a call, and for $10,000, I'll teach you how to, what a call and a put is." I'm like, "Well, that's great. What do I do after?" That I had these and then what moments. I've solved the and then what moments. You're not going to get 8 full throttle sessions about this is a call, this is a put, and then me airdrop you into the market, into Afghanistan with a rifle. Good luck. This is what we're in here doing now, live in these briefs. Practical application, man. James, yeah, scurvy. Yeah, I wasted so much money with those other thieves. You got it, man. So I went from you, self-taught options trader, to running a $2.5 billion firm, man, to running my own financial media company, right? I can do it. You can too. It ain't rocket surgery. I simplified everything and made it. So here we go. 85% of our current members are in full throttle max, meaning they get access to just about everything we do here at Top Gun Options. On Monday at 1 o'clock, you're going to be in weekly options. Remember, everything's recorded, and we send out text and email alerts. So if you're looking at a time on the screen and go, man, I worked during that day, welcome to the party, pal. 85% of our members work. On Tuesday, you're going to get access to the primary live trade brief. You had access to it yesterday. You saw the SPX trade that's already up $1,500 in 1 day. Then you get access to what we're doing right now, AR, accelerated retirement. Supposed to be a little bit more conservative, but like I talked about yesterday when somebody's like, hey, these are kind of all short-term trades. You have to be short-term trading right now. You have to. right? You got to shift your tactics as appropriate, man. We're an F-18 Hornet. We can dogfight this market. We're not stodgy and slowly maneuvering, man. We get in and out, and we win. And then you'll get access to the analyze the portfolios and the weekly debrief every Thursday at 1 p.m. And as I said, I do my one-on-one coaching on Fridays. Separate down the road, if after you become a member, if you're interested. I have a lot of coaching clients and a lot of great testimonials and case studies from them. I work with you. We're on a webinar, just you and me. I'm looking at your portfolio. Boom, that's fantastic. But we can talk about down the road. Okay, can attend, Wiz. Duh, we send out time-sensitive text alerts. There's a copy of a text alert right there. Actually, and they fire simultaneously, folks. They fire at the same time. As soon as I press send, I get it. Actually, sometimes the Gmail comes first. I'm like, there's the text alert or the email alert and the text. So they're fired immediately. And then the replay, it takes about 30, it depends on YouTube, and it takes about 30 to 45 minutes for me to render the recording and put it up on the member page, okay? But here's an example of the email I sent out. You know, this is the top of the email. At the top of the email, I put in I just paste in the text in case you need it, and then the rest of the email has the trade in it up on the top, and then underneath it, it's got the metrics of that trade, okay? So redundancy. Awesome redundancy. This is fantastic, folks. This is industry leading. This is $897 of value right here. You're going to get access to these full throttle training sessions. Wiz, I'm kind of new to options. I kind of know what a call and a put is. What does this look like, folks? This is a building block approach. When I showed up to flight school in Pensacola, folks, they didn't say, hey, man, there's your F-18. They said, there's your classroom. Here are your manuals. And I remember taking a picture of me with my manuals at flight school. They were as tall as I am. Okay. So you're going to get access to these hey, man, trading methodology. Where's Wiz get all his intelligence? My parents. No, my financial intelligence. Long and short calls and puts, covered call, bullish, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to go into all this stuff. This is your aerodynamics, your meteorology, your every navigation. This is the building blocks, okay? The reason I do all this training is I don't want to sit in these live trade briefs and talk for an hour and a half about how to put on a bear call spread. No. What I want to do in the live trade briefs is, you ready for this? Live trade. So if you need to brush up on what a bearish vertical spread is, you go watch session 5, grab a glass of wine or a cup of coffee and sit there and watch it for an hour and a half. And you're also going to get access to what? Duh, your flight manuals, primary, intermediate, advanced. Those are $197 right there if you bought them on our homepage. Okay, so here's what you get. If you go with Max, I'm going to brief some lesser ones in a second, but this is 85% of our current membership. Here's what you get with Max. Access to the 4 skill-based trade briefs, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 1 o'clock. You get a text and email alert anytime we open that trade. It doesn't just come during the brief. It can come after. It can come whenever I see it, right? Whenever I see a new potential trade, boom, I press fire. You get it on your cell phone and your email. You get access to those 8 full throttle training sessions. Doing a little counter research, the cost of a full throttle max membership, some people charge for outdated DVDs of this is a call and this is a put. It's insanity. I'm not, you can maybe Google on your own and figure out some of these people. I'm like, you're charging how much for what? And these things were made in like 2002. Scurvy's right. They are thieves. It's disgusting. And you get access to the 3 manuals. So here's what we're going to do. Here's where you need to go. So first of all, it depends on what you want. How much is it? I'm going to show you. But get airborne this afternoon. I'm telling you, you don't want to be the number 51 who calls support and says, hey, the page is down. I can't get my slot. You answered your own question. You're not going to get on board. We take 50, we close the doors, and we go quiet. And then maybe we'll see in January or February if we do another full throttle. So get airborne as soon as you can. 50 people, and that's it. Annual memberships first, those get the priority. Those people are motivated. Those people have made the decision to get airborne and get profitable and take their portfolio full throttle. If we have some memberships left over by Friday, I might open it up to monthly folks. Does that make sense? So Yeah, thanks, Scurvy. Yeah, your training materials are great. I wonder how many people have actually read them. Every once in a while, it's funny, people said that. They're like, man, I just sat down and I cracked open the primary manual. Holy crap. I'm like, duh. Did you not listen to me? Get in. As soon as you become a member, everybody hold on. I'll show you in a second here. Download the damn workbooks, man. Go to the beach. Well, I can go to the beach this weekend. Go to the mountains. Do whatever. Start reading. Start watching your training. Okay? So let's talk about Full Throttle Max, and then we'll go into the other ones. Let me go over to, let me show you the page right here. This is where you need to go. It's go.topgunoptions.com/getft. That stands for Get Full Throttle. So the link is now in the chat box. We are officially open, even though 2 people beat you guys. And then there's another 4 of you who somehow also beat. I mentioned it in the sit rep, that's why. So good on the people that got in early. I like those people. You're my spirit animal. Who's this? And Merrill from Edmond, Oklahoma. We have Peter from Baton Rouge. Peter is a Full Throttle Max new member. We have Paul McGrady, Anchorage, Alaska, man. I did a couple FedEx trips up to Anchorage, and I also flew out of Elmendorf, man, for Red Flag. We have another annual Full Throttle Max member, Katrina, Tulsa, Oklahoma. You need to get to with the guy from Edmond. Look at this. Wow. All right. Well, I'm not going to read all the whatever. So that's probably about 15 people already. So go to this page, folks. I just told you everything that's on this page. So don't sit here and scroll. You know, it's got the classes on here, what you get, the manuals. It's a lot of sales crap. Click on this image at the top right here, and it takes you to the shopping cart. Right. Actually, let me just put this in here right now. Go to this page. You don't have to look at all the marketing crap on the page on the front. Go grab them. Go. Now, if you're not ready to do Max, let's go ahead and I'll show you what the other lesser services are. There's one of the lesser service is called Full Throttle Offensive. What do you get with that? Weekly options on Monday, PLTB, the primary live trade brief on Tuesday, and you get the analyze your trade and the weekly debrief on Thursday. That's offensive. What's missing? Well, obviously somebody can fill in the blank. You just don't get access to accelerated retirement. Hence the word offensive, meaning offensive like I'm going to be trading weekly options and all this other stuff. Kind of a, you know, the fangs out of your oxygen mask. I'm dogfighting this market. I'm going to go after it and hit it hard. Okay. So that's offensive, Full Throttle Offensive. You don't get access to AR. Now, Full Throttle Defensive. Let's see how many political science majors are in there. What do you get access to? The primary live trade brief, accelerated retirement, and the weekly debrief. So defensive implies a little what? A little bit more conservative, you know. So does that make sense? Mohammed, you bet. Yep, these prices are staying the way they are. Yeah, Varouche. So Full Throttle Max is the whole enchilada. You get access to everything. But some people are like, you know, I'm not a big weekly options trader just now, so maybe I'll try defensive or offensive. So yeah, so Max, ladies and gentlemen, let me go back to this page. Max gets you access to everything in Full Throttle. Okay, we can go back to this main page here. You can kind of read it up at the top here. Annual membership, you get all this stuff, and if you get Max, you get accelerated retirement and the weekly options. If you do offensive, you get everything, plus weekly options. And if you do defensive, obviously, you get accelerated retirement. So it's kind of a, you know, I broke these up into individual tracks. But like I said, 85% of the folks are in Max. Varouche, absolutely not. Solo Amazon is called Solo Amazon for a reason. It is outside of Full Throttle. Solo Amazon is not part of Full Throttle. And we can maybe talk Solo Amazon in a week or two, but we're focused on getting everybody airborne in Full Throttle Max. So nope, no Solo Amazon. So there it is. I strongly recommend you do full throttle max. You can upgrade a couple months. Hey, Wiz, I'm going to start defensive or offensive. Just pick up the phone, call our support team, and say, hey, man, I'm ready to upgrade into max. Okay. All right. So get airborne now. I'm done with the marketing stuff. I'm going to have to do it, tonight a little bit until we get our 50. So put up with it. Get yours now, and you'll be good to go. You can upgrade whenever you want. 80% of our members work. Watch the replays, get the text alerts, get the emails, and there you go. Full throttle doesn't include solo Amazon, folks. That's $97 a month. So we can talk about that some other day. Yeah, exactly, Tamara. These folks, you're locked in at these prices. This is a fantastic deal. You know why? That's what you pay for the rest of your life. Full throttle, when we first did this, ladies and gentlemen, I looked at some of my old marketing stuff. It was $495. There are people at Top Gun Options who still pay that every year. Guess what? That ain't the price now, man, and it will go up in the future. So if you do not get yours now, we are going to go up in the future. Okay. Dutch, I don't know where you grabbed that one, but we can take a look at it. All right. Trading in combat, man. You'd think they're complex. They're not. We battle complexity with simplicity. This is simple, man. Right? It's like that Geico commercial. It's so easy, even a caveman can do it. I can do it, folks. This is superior training. I'm going to teach you how to manage risk, and I'm going to teach you how to be disciplined. Enough with this, hey, I hope this position comes back. There ain't no hope, man. Practical application, easy to follow system, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Does that make sense? And then we're going to get trading here. Do nothing, man. You have two choices. I love this is the first time my phone's buzzed this much in a long time when I open the slots. I love these people. Motivated. Wow. That's about 25 people right there, man. I love this. So after one of the most volatile quarters that I've seen in ages, you guys are smart enough to recognize, like, holy shit, man, this guy printed money when other services more or less went out of business and their customers went bust. Yep. Get airborne today and take your trading supersonic. Okay. Done with the marketing, man. Who do you recommend to open an account with in the UK? Mohammed, I can't tell you about brokers over in the UK. Once you get airborne, man, you can get in the ready room and talk to some of your other members. We have a lot of folks over in the UK. But let's get going, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, the motto at Top Gun, you train like you fight, and you fight like you train. Think about that for a second. The flying I did over Iraq was boring, and I'm not kidding you. The most intense flying I ever did was at Top Gun. Why? Because in training, we are as hard on ourselves as anybody else in the world ever could be. So when we do get in the bad guy land, it's a letdown. You fight like you train, and you train like you fight. And I'm going to teach you how to fly and fight and win in this market. Done. Let's go. Iran blames alleged tanker attack on Israel, the U.S., and Saudi Arabia. Go figure. So Israel flew over Iraq, Saudi Arabia, out to the Gulf, and attack these tankers. And maybe the United States did, and also Saudi Arabia. This is going to come to an absolute head, and it's going to be bad. One of my best friends who I flew Hornets with, his name is Captain, I love his first name, Captain Putnam Brown. He's the commanding officer of the Abraham Lincoln. I did a combat deployment on board the Lincoln, and now the dude's the skipper of it. I know what's going on out here, folks, and it's going to get bad. And every time I've predicted military action and made money off of it, I have like a 99% win rate with military stuff and how the market reacts. The one time I was wrong, and thank God I was wrong, was when we had 3 carrier strike groups off of Korea, and Donald Trump was going to level the guy. Thank God I was wrong. I'm like, I don't want this to. We went out to our live event out in Lake Tahoe, and we bought a case of Camus. I'm like, I want to be wrong, guys. This is one time I want to be wrong. It's going to get worse. Now that this is out in the public, I can talk about this. We did respond after they attacked the Saudi oil fields. We did another cyber strike after the drone shoot down, ladies and gentlemen, where Trump's like, I'm locked and loaded. I'm going to crush these, and I'm not going to do anything. People might die. Hey, man, that big building down the street from you, the world's largest building with 5 sides, its sole purpose is to kill people. Sometimes you have to put a blunt point on things. What do you think, Mr. President? These things shoot Nerf bullets? Anyway, so after that attack, they did knock out a cyber attack on that air defense zone in that region. I think it took them, 2 months to like unfornicate this cyber. But this cyber attack after this attack, I get this. This is new warfare. It's, drones, the leading edge of this stuff like that. But one of the bads of cyber warfare is you don't see it. What do I mean by that? Sometimes the seeing of something makes it more real and hits home and changes political opinion. For 2 years, the Iranian nuclear program was crippled by what? The Mossad and the CIA. Anybody ever hear of the Stuxnet virus? Up until that point, you know what Israel had been doing? Putting 2 dudes on a motorcycle, riding up to an Iranian nuke guy, going into work, putting a magnetic bomb on his car, and driving away and killing him. This stuff happens, folks, and I'm telling you, with all my experience in the region, this is going to get absolutely worse. If you get a copy of my book, I will. You'll read in one chapter about how I almost shot down an Iranian helicopter flying at the aircraft carrier, and it wouldn't deviate its course. Locked that guy up with his heat-seeking missile, put my master switch to arm, and he was one trigger squeeze away from being taken out of the gene pool. Bad things are going to happen in the Gulf, and it's going to happen this quarter. I told you about this yesterday, and hopefully you didn't sleep about it because this is bad. Turkey's more or less holding 50 of our nuclear weapons hostage at Incirlik Air Base. I've been to Incirlik Air Base, and this is bad. Did you see? So I told you, Monday afternoon, Vice President Pence came out with Secretary Mnuchin. Hey, we're leaving immediately. We're getting on an airplane. We're going to the region to try and settle this stuff. What did Erdogan say? Disrespected Erdogan refuses to meet with Pence over ceasefire talks. I will only talk to Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, Turkey is a NATO member. They're an ally. I don't want to drop anchor on this too much. We covered a lot of it yesterday. Oh, by the way, because somebody asked earlier, if you didn't attend yesterday, please watch the replay. The replay from today will be on here. The replay from yesterday is on there. The replay from Monday night is on there. Get in there and watch it. We talked about covering our closing our Raytheon trade. Look at that. That was a 1-week trade in Raytheon, $2,600, 80% profit. 80% profit in that. We got to log back in. $1,500 profit in SPX in one day, and then I'm going to show you $6,700 in profit in about 3 minutes here in the accelerated retirement brief. Seriously, folks, if by this point, after seeing $12,000, $13,000 in profit in trades, not PowerPoint slides talking about a Fibonacci reverse twist, price momentum, here's what I did a couple years ago. I'm talking now, folks. Seriously, if you don't sign up today, don't do it on Friday because we're not going to get along. I'm kind of serious about that. All right, yeah, whoever just said that, yeah, it's up $1,600. Close it. Get out of this. Because with our luck, President comes out to the helicopter and says something to rally the market, and we don't want that. Okay, folks, hold on, close. I want my 2 cents, man. I'm not paying you. I want 2. Okay, we'll do that in a little bit. All right. So, folks, the Turkey thing is bad. This is a NATO member. The President of the United States, his biggest mistake of his presidency so far. He ain't going to get impeached, even if he does none of that stuff will bring him down. It's this type of stupidity. The ready, fire, aim. Listen to your admirals, listen to your generals. While you were doing real estate deals and writing the art of the deal and being a successful businessman and employing people and feeding their families and being a good American, some of these dudes and ladies were in uniform fighting these people and knowing what's going on. I talked to a lot of my buddies who did ONW, Operation Northern Watch, in Iraq. They would be told to get out of the way, airborne, as Turkish Air Force planes would come in and bomb the Kurds that these guys are supposed to be protecting from Saddam. Does anybody get that? This guy's an idiot when it comes to this. He completely screwed up. So we need to need to keep our eyes on Turkey, folks. And it impacts the markets because the last time the president had a tantrum with Erdogan, he did try and he destroyed the lira or whatever the hell it is. It impacted our markets, folks. Remember that? It was like a gap down the next day, like 1,000 points. Got to keep an eye on this stuff. Now it's over to China. It's comical what happened last week. I remember texting some of my coaching members, hey, did you see this? I'm like, sell into it. What? Sell into it. But Trump said the word tremendously 15 or 16 times, or tremendous. I'm like, of course he did. Sell into it. Do not believe any phase one anything. So, Kathy, I appreciate the intel. I saw that on my Wall Street Journal alert just now about, we're going to meet in Chile, and it's pretty funny that they're going to Chile, because the last time the president met Xi Jinping in Latin America at Buenos Aires, he promised to stop allowing opioids to be exported. He'll charge the death penalty. We're going to buy soybeans. We're going to do all sorts of stuff. And the president postponed those tariffs. Does everybody remember this, or is it only me? So what happened this week after Friday's great news? We need kind of slow down on this whole phase one agreement thing. Who, us? We didn't agree to phase one. We need to talk again. And oh, by the way, during that talk, we're going to tell you that we want the tariffs removed before we buy a soybean. What? I told you again yesterday, folks, that the market is late with things. I am early. Here, I could point all over this chart where I'm like, trust me, folks, in a day or two. Remember, if you're, these massive hedge fund guys, Double Line Capital, Jeffrey Gunlock, or what's his name from Brown Point or whatever it's called, they can't maneuver quickly, folks. They're a super tanker doing 40 knots, and when they throw in a steering correction, it takes them 5 states to turn. We're in an F-18. This is bad news. The market is going to wake up to the fact that the Chinese said there ain't no phase one. What are you people, high? And we're going to go down. By the way, tomorrow's Thursday. What happens our Thursday? It's going to be a violent protest. Each weekend, these have gotten worse. Earlier in the week, somebody lit off an IED outside a police station. They arrested one of the big protest organizers. He's in jail. Chief Executive Lam has ruled out any concessions. What did I tell my members a month ago? Chief Executive Lam said, the extradition bill is dead. We will not do that. It was too late. Their initial reason for protesting was that. Like, you can't send us to mainland China. We're Hong Kongers. She killed it. But by that time, what happened? The protesters had said, yeah, that ain't just our only demand. Here's 4 or 5 other things. This is going to get worse, and it might even be timed with the president being in Chile. How many times has this happened? Did this happen with? My memory's getting confused on some things, but I remember if it was Trump or somebody meeting, and then like literally breaking news underneath that was something. Was Iraq? I forget, but I would not put it past Xi Jinping to promise to do a bunch of stuff as he's shaking Donald Trump's hand in Chile, and there goes tanks steamrolling into Hong Kong. I'm telling you, this is going to happen, folks. You do not back down if you're Xi Jinping at this point, right? And Donald Trump did an awful job on Hong Kong. He actually did a screw up yesterday. He did the same type of thing. He's like, what did he say? He said, I think Xi's doing a great job with Hong Kong. I mean, great stuff, or whatever he said. Again, it was one of those where I just kind of go, man, just stop talking. So Got to keep an eye on that. Morgan Stanley called it on Friday. I called it on Friday. Friday marked the high for stocks. Now comes the selling. I'm not going to do all the technical analysis stuff behind this because that ain't me. But underneath the technical analysis is smart stuff that I talk about. Out of airspeed, out of ideas, and we're heading down. Thank you, Morgan Stanley, for agreeing with me. So markets generally kind of wavering after retail sales unexpectedly fell. But look at the previous month. Let's take a look at the revisions. Let's take a look at the actual numbers today. So the previous month for core retail sales right here, folks, look at this. They were increased up, revised up from flat. They forecasted 0.2. Uh-oh, there's a negative there. What about regular retail sales? Well, they went up from 0.4. We wanted 0.3. We got negative 0.3. So this is bad. Rick, 13 hours ago, China finally endorsed the U.S.'s account of the handshake agreement made last Friday, with news wires quoting Foreign Ministry spokesman Geng Shuang as corroborating Washington's summary. So what happened on Friday didn't happen on Friday until somebody said it happened and the handshake agreement. What they're not reporting is this, folks. Does everybody, let me read this sentence. And on Tuesday, with the U.S. back from the long holiday weekend, Chinese officials have essentially confirmed that they are back to their old tricks and that the progress on the Phase 1 deal that was touted last week is a sham. Beijing can make good on the $50 billion of agricultural purchases that is promised, but only if Washington agrees to remove all the trade war tariffs. This is why you are a member here, folks. Do not believe anything at all unless you hear it here. And I'm not screwing around when I say this stuff, folks. I spend this isn't work for me. I'm passionate. I'm on the treadmill this morning and working out, and I'm all over the. I mean, I don't watch the NFL anymore, but are there any former NFL watchers in here? I got to meet one of my heroes growing up this morning. Quick break. So Donovan McNabb. I worked out with Donovan McNabb this morning. Any Eagles fans in here? So there's Donovan McNabb. I had to tell him about the story when my son Matthew, of course, I had to force my kids to grow up Eagles fans. Matthew and I went to a Cowboys-Eagles game, and if you know that rivalry, holy crap. But Matthew wanted to wear this was a McNabb jersey. It was a little McNabb jersey, and he's like, hey, Dad, can I wear my outfit? I'm like, oh my God. But I'm thinking like an Eagles fan. I'm like, man, if I was at the Eagles game and a little kid came in wearing a Dallas Cowboys outfit, Troy Aikman, we'd kill the father. But then I'm like, wait a minute, we're in Dallas and people are nice. So we go to the game and we're sitting there and it's the third quarter. And of course we're getting our asses kicked by the Cowboys. So I text my wife. I'm like, hey, can you come get us? I mean, I want to sneak out of here early. So we get up to leave and we're like in the upper stands. We get up to leave and we're going down the stairs and I'm like, oh my God, we made it out of here without, getting knifed. And all of a sudden this guy yells, he goes, hey, little McNabb. And Matthew turns around and the guy goes, they should have put you in. And he's like, yay. And I thanked the whole section. I'm like, is that all? Is that it? I said, thank you, Cowboys fans for not killing me. And then I showed him a picture that I took over flying the Hornet. So it was awesome. But yeah, I'll read what I wrote. I said, hey man, of course I neglected to tell him I don't watch the NFL anymore simply for the reason he was throwing around weights bigger than most cars. He's a big dude. All right, let's move. Retail sales stumble. And I love all the people yesterday, like markets popping on great financial earnings. I'm like, did you see Goldman Sachs earnings? Did you hear Jamie Dimon give a crappy outlook? And did you see Bank of America this morning? Don't give me this whole, hey, earnings kicked off and financials are fantastic. You don't know what you're talking about. That's not what happened, and that's not good. Financials did not have good earnings, and that does not bode well for this market. All right, enough. Strategic, operational, Now let's get tactical. But that's all needed, ladies and gentlemen. As Chuck said earlier, he's like, I've never seen a trading system that kind of thinks like this. You haven't, because people aren't out there doing it. How many of you want to do something where you have to sit there for 8 hours a day and watch something swing in a different direction? It's stupidity, folks. All right, so let's review what we did during our last Accelerated Retirement brief. We took a look at a Raytheon bull put spread. We took a look at a bull put spread on S&P 500 and bearish on volatility. Take a look at this. You know when we did this bull put spread? Right here. When the market imploded. Whoa, what are you, nuts? No, I'm not. Why did I put on a bull put spread right here? Because I knew that was going to happen. That's why. And we could talk about why in a couple of seconds. But look, listen to these trades. Let's look at them. Men lie, numbers don't. Oh, there you go. There's the update. All three trades last week expired for max profit of 66.75. Look at these. Well, we can look at the individual trades. This was a bear call spread on volatility, meaning I believed the market was going to rally and volatility come in. How much did I believe that to? To a profit of $2,400 on $5,100 in risk. What did I also believe? I told you that Raytheon was going to stay where it is or go up because something was going to happen. What happened? Breaking news, Iran, blew up its own tanker. But breaking news, danger in the Gulf. Raytheon bull put spread closed Friday for a $2,100 profit on $5,400 in risk. Again, folks, if you don't want to risk 54, you don't want to risk 51, you don't. I can't tell you what to do. You're watching what I'm doing. Cut the contracts in half. Trade one, trade $1 million, trade negative $1 million. I don't care. That's your cockpit, man. I'm showing you what I'm doing. And finally, the bull put spread on the S&P 500 expired Friday. You ready for this? For $21.75. Yeah, exactly, Kevin. For the past couple of years, it's funny. I had to shift in Accelerated Retirement to being a little bit more tactical, and it's one of the best performing portfolios. Men lie, numbers don't. 3 trades, 3 shots, 3 kills, nearly $7,000 last week on Friday. That was a hell of a Friday, man. I was walking around campus with and that was just in the Accelerated Retirement portfolio, folks. I showed you yesterday what happened with our Raytheon trade from last week, $2,600. I don't want to jinx myself by saying it's like been shooting fish in a barrel, but this is the environment you want, ladies and gentlemen, as an options trader. Yeah, absolutely, Steve. It's right here. Go.topgunoptions.com/getft. And based on the phone buzzing, a lot of you, it's been a couple years since we've sold out before the Wednesday night brief. I love this. And it's funny because these are the times when we do full throttle, when people are like, holy crap, man, I need to know what the hell I'm doing in this volatile market. Yep, I think we might sell out. Mike from St. Paul, Minnesota, annual offensive slot. Welcome aboard, Mike. Another Mike from Goleta. Goleta, that's the garlic factory, right? That's Gilroy. I think I've been to Goleta. So Mike's from Goleta, and he is a annual Max member. Welcome aboard, Mike. And Fred Bradley, Louisville, Texas. Fred lived in Keller, Texas for 5 years. Welcome aboard, my Texas friend. All right, let's take a look at new trades. You bet, Mike. All right, let's take a look at this. Ron, do your manuals clearly explain how to make bull put spreads, bear call spreads, verticals? I've never done these before. Ron, the manuals absolutely do that. But guess what, man? I'm not a manual dude. Man, I'm going through all my, I got to find it. Well, anyway, I was going to show you the F-18 flight manual. The F-18 flight manual is like a phone book. I read it, but guess what, my brother? Here's what you need as well as the manuals. These. So not only are you going to read about a bear call spread in this manual, my friend, what are you going to do? You're going to watch this hour-long brief, me having a glass of wine at 7 o'clock at night, sitting here after the market closed, covering everything about these. Okay, I'll show you what that looks like right here. Member content, full throttle. There it is. Okay, so absolutely, Ron. The manuals. So I'm providing you mutual support. Most places, here's your manual. Okay, and here's a really outdated DVD on bear call spread. Not me, baby. Look at this. This is all current and up to date. Here's all your training sessions. So I ain't leaving you hanging, man. If you're new to options, don't know what options are, or you're a Jedi master, you got a home here. All right. All right, now we got to get to trading here. Let's take a look at new trades. I told you yesterday we have to take a look at volatility. Look at the VIX today, man. Ooh, it's actually up. It turned around. Wow. Larry, people learn differently. Here at Top Gun Options, we get it all. Tell, show, do. Larry, that's a great way to put it, man. The workbooks are a great resource. I personally use them to solidify what was covered in the full throttle training. That's awesome. Good. All right, guys. But look at the VIX. Hey, what did I tell you yesterday, man? Volatility is going to come alive, man. Look at this smash in volatility on what? Hey, we got a phase one deal. No, we don't. Well, they said we do, and maybe China maybe agrees. This week, it seems right before the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, every weekend the Chinese try and throw out a little bit of kind of, hey, here's a little bit of good news, and we're going to go crack people's skulls in. Not good. Not good. Time to get long volatility. Now, tonight, I don't want to tease or take away what I'm doing tonight, or actually I will tease, meaning you need to come tonight or at least watch a replay, because why? I'm going to teach you about a burner trade. That's also kind of a trudge. Remember what I covered the other night? A trade you want to make money on. A hedge you don't mind if you lose money on, because it was serving as a hedge. I never walked out to the F-18 and said, hey, Chief, pull the seat out, the ejection seat out. I think I'm just fantastic today. Nothing bad can happen. Does it sound like no, right? So you always need to be flying around with an ejection seat, especially in this market. And you need to, and we'll talk about that tonight. But the first part of our burner trade is going to be what we're going to do right now, which is going to be bullish on volatility. So here's a chart of the VIX. It's the SIBO, Chicago Board Option Exchange, market volatility. Don't call it the volatility index. Call it the uncertainty index. When something is uncertain or the market freaks out, the VIX spikes. When the freak out goes away, it goes in. Because somebody just, I wasn't ignoring your question. Again, we got like 692 people in here, and it's a little bit of a zoo. Oh, that's great, Tamara. Let me show folks that one. It's so true, Tamara. One of the unsung assets that we have at Top Gun Options is what I call the ready room, which is kind of where we interact. So Tamara's saying, after the manuals and classes, you get daily education through the daily briefs, and then you go to the ready room. You can ask questions, get support, and we're all family. I love, sometimes I try and go through the ready room a couple times a day, but my fellow members here beat me to it, and sometimes answer the questions for me or interact with each other. That's great. All right, so here we go. Why is volatility down here so low? It's extremely cheap right now. What did I... John, you're right. John says Tamara is a fantastic resource. She absolutely is. Whoever asked earlier, why is volatility so low? This is where I'm going to look at you and go, I don't know. It shouldn't be down here, which means what? Just like I did here, just like I did right there, I said it is time to get long volatility, whether it's China and punting on phase one, whether it's China punting into a protester's head, or maybe they'll get LeBron James to do it for $1. It's an attack in the Middle East. It's impeachment. It's bad earnings tomorrow out of somebody. Something's going to happen in the next week or so to cause volatility to spike. Period. What? I don't know. I just gave you 5 reasons of why. My call sign is Wiz. It's not Nostradamus, right? Crap, I'm 4 minutes over. We're going to go a little long. I like being on time, but we got to get at least our one accelerated retirement trade on here. I trade VXX over VIX. When you become a member, you'll get that lecture and you'll find out why. Zero time to explain why today. That's why we do the academic training. But look at how low the VXX is right now. We're down here at 2155. When's the last time we saw 2155, folks? Let's go over to here. Look at this, 2155, 2155, 2155. Holy crap. Can volatility go lower? Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. Of course it can go lower. What's wrong with the internet? Fuck! Susie! Folks, can you hear me? All right, guys, sorry about that. Wonderful South Florida, typical weather, wrath of God type of stuff, bolt of lightning. Maybe I said something he didn't like. All right, let's get going. So when is the last time that we saw volatility this cheap? Back before the world went to hell, back before we had an absolute blast, and we printed money back here, folks. Turn off my webcam. Let me turn off my webcam because I went through my phone here. Okay, so, all right. So here we go. All right, one more time. Let's try this one more time. Love it. Hey guys, can you hear me? Hello. Test 1 2 1 2 3 1 1 1. Hello, hello. Hello. All right, guys. How about now? Think we're back. All right, good. The wonders of modern technology. All right, let's go. We got to move. Maybe that was God telling me I'm not supposed to go over my official end times. Volatility hasn't been this low since the storm back in August. Nothing has changed, right? Nothing has changed between now and August. Matter of fact, things have gotten worse. The Middle East has gotten worse. The China trade thing has gotten worse. Earnings aren't looking too stellar. This is bad. Okay. So let's take a look. I'm going to go out to next Friday. Between now and next Friday, folks, I think, something's going to happen to cause volatility to go up and to spike. And tonight in our academic training, I'm going to actually cover the second part of this trade because I'm going to get the first part of it on right now. Let's go down to 21, just in case volatility does go a little bit lower. So this is going to be a bull put spread on VXX. Let me take a look at 150 contracts. I beat this into the ground yesterday about commissions and dollar spreads and all sorts of other stuff. So not going to cover that. This is the trade I'm doing. Let me see what 200 does. 175. Okay, 175 I think is going to be good for me. Damien, I already said I trade VXX over VIX, and when you become a member, I will give you a brief on why I trade them and what's different. Don't have time to do that right now. Selling 175 of next Friday, 21 puts. That's me saying, hey, man, I think VXX is going to be above 21 by next week. What if you're wrong? Man, between now and next Friday, Jesus, Muhammad, Ganesh, and Buddha come back to life, and volatility goes to zero. There is no much more uncertainty. We're all Zen. Well, I will have found inner peace and I'll be completely happy, but we're also going to be stopped out in our losses because we're buying these downside puts, right? Bullish on volatility using puts, and it's a spread. This tactic is called a bull put spread. It's also called a credit spread. We're bringing in a credit of 20 cents to do this. I would try and get filled on this trade, 20 cents plus or minus about 2 cents, meaning for today, I'd go as low as 18 and I'd go as high as 22. If it goes outside of that range, I'm not going to do that trade. I might have to move my strikes. That's what you're going to learn in the full throttle training. Okay, let me grab a screenshot of this trade because I'm going to put this on the replay page for my members. Okay, I'll save as VXX 1016. All right. Now, I taught you this yesterday. As soon as I click the Analyze tab up here, your eyes are going to go to one place and one place only, and that is max potential loss. $5,200. The max risk in this trade is $5,250. That is based on 175 contracts. Okay. Once we acknowledge this and say, I understand my risk, we never look here first, ever. That's stupid. You're an awful trader and investor, and I fully mean that if that's what you do. Hey, I can make $3,500 in this trade. Do you want to lose 53? No. Then why are you looking at that? This is what you look at first, then that. I'm okay with this risk. This is in accordance with my SOP, my standard operating procedures. So yeah. Don't want that to happen. That's why we talk about ejection. I would maybe eject from this trade at double the credit that I take in. If this goes up to 42 cents, I'm going to scratch my chin and go, why is volatility imploding right now? And maybe I will eject out of it. I'm going to try and get that 21 cents though. So, and look at that. If we do 21 cents, we lower our risk and we increase our profit. We make money 3 out of 4 ways on this trade, right? With a bull put spread, how can we make money 3 out of 4 ways? VXX 1014 metric. Here's how we can make money 3 out of 4 ways. VXX can, then this is VXX right here. This is currently VXX. It can go up and spike, which I definitely think it's going to do. Hey man, Wiz, it's kind of in a nosedive and leveling out. Well, it can stay right where it is and we make money. Folks, volatility, VXX can even go down a little bit as long as it stays above that point right there, which is what? Our break even. There's a 64% probability that we will at least break even on this trade. That was a bull put spread in 7 minutes and 40 seconds. You're going to get bull put spread training for an hour and a half, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a perfect example of demo do. Tonight, I'm going to take an hour to an hour and a half and talk about a bull put spread and another tactic. In these briefs, I don't have time to do it, baby. You have to do the full throttle training, read your manual, so when we're in these briefs, it is all business. Understand? Just like Larry said earlier, it's that demo do approach. Watch, demo do, and this is what we want to do in these briefs. Edward, why such a high strike price? Why not around 17? Um, well, because there's absolutely zero premium down at 17, and I can't even remember the last time VXX was down at 17. 17's off the chart down here. There's absolutely no premium, so that's why there's nothing. You won't make a nickel down here at 17, right? Why such a high strike price? I don't think it's a high strike price. I think it's right now. That's where I think it is. Bob, yep, this is, folks, remember, this is training, ladies and gentlemen. I trade over a trade station. I use the E-Trade account, the paper trading system for teaching, man. I cannot give investment advice. So, folks, that's you are not allowed to demonstrate trading with real capital or you are breaking the law. So that's why, Bob, we teach on this platform and I go execute over at TradeStation and I save a lot of money. Modi, no, I really don't. I really don't look at. I look at the VIX levels, but you know, I look. They're not too correlated. Again, let me tease. When you become a member, you're going to get a lecture on VIX versus VXX. But it's a similar mindset here, Modi. Look at this. We're down here on the VIX at. Well, we were down here at about like 1350 earlier in the day. When's the last time we were this low on the VIX? Let's just put a line in here. What happened the last time we skidded along? Boom. What happened back here? Boom. So something's going to happen to cause this market to freak out. So, yeah, Edward, exactly. Yeah, if you're looking over there at the VIX, yeah, and like I said, we'll talk about the difference between those two. But yeah, okay. There you go, Asa. Good luck, man. Wiz, is Turkey wearing those 60 nukes, 50 nukes as a suicide vest? Or are they joking that they won't blow up the whole Middle East? That would be a great place for a world landfall sponsored by. I'll leave that one alone. I'd have to believe that this president of the United States on the phone call with Erdogan yesterday, unless he can't talk on the phone anymore because we have deep state disgusting Democrats and bureaucrats who are committing coups. The president can't conduct diplomacy anymore because people are listening on the phone and are spies and committing treason. We should hang these people. Instead, they get book deals. You bet, Paul. All right, guys, let me see if I'm filled on that. I'm going to start working that. Nope. Get out of this. I'm going to get out of this SPX trade. $1,600 in a day, man. You're welcome. And our FXI trade, it's down. It's flat. I would get bearish on FXI. Watch the replay from yesterday. China, this thing is going down. It is absolutely going down. And based on the amount, this is fantastic. Based on my phone ringing, I'm telling you anecdotally that we are pretty damn good. I think like 5 years ago, the last time we had some really craziness, I think we filled up with all 50 before I did the night brief, which might be, there's a ton of new folks. This is awesome. Fantastic. All right. Well, welcome aboard to all the new folks. Like I said, we get 50, we close the doors, and you got to do it now. I got to be honest with you. I in the past have really thought about limiting full throttle to right now. You got a brief Monday night. You got a PLTB yesterday where you could have made $1,600 in a day. Showed you how we made $2,600 in a week on Raytheon, and today I showed you how we made $67.75 in 3 trades, and I just showed you bullish volatility. This is way too much free stuff, man, to be honest with you. So, sign up. I'll still do the rest of the week. If we get filled up, sometimes I'm like, you know what, I'm done. I'd rather focus on the new folks. And if you ain't ready to sign up now, I don't know what to tell you. And like I didn't jokingly say earlier in the brief, if you're not kind of convinced by now, don't sign up because I don't know what the issue is, man. Showing you all of these trades, man, and we've had an epic third quarter, and then the first 16 days here in October have been fantastic. My only losing trade was actually in the other service in Solo Amazon. Had a max profit bear call spread on Amazon, max profit bull put spread on XLY, but the bear call spread got blown out on Friday's ridiculous bullshit phase one agreement, which is fading. So don't have 1,000% winning trades. I cover my losers. You have to debrief the losers, man. You don't want to repeat that, or you want to figure out what the hell happened. We don't take losing trades and go, yeah, that sucked. What happened, why, and how can we avoid it in the future? Okay? So if you ain't ready to get airborne now, I don't know what tonight, tomorrow, or Friday is going to do for you, but you're still invited to come to the rest of those. So I will talk to you tonight. We'll cover the rest of this volatility trade with it turns out being what is called a trade, a trade that is also a hedge. I'll go down to 20 cents for now. Let's see if I can get 20. All right, what questions can I ask? Seriously, if you're not signing up right now, I don't know what is keeping you from signing up right now. To be honest with you, I want to know that. Slash the FXI from that we did yesterday is this one. This trade's still good from yesterday, man. I'd do this one. The 42 and a half bear call spread, and I'd go 13 cents. I think I got 13 cents. David's filled at 20 on VXX. Okay, good. Okay, Natalia, then go grab it right now. Go ahead. All you have to do, Natalia, is click on this image. Let me show you right here. Right here. You can, Natalia, you can sneak there. So go to this page. Okay. FT-order. It's in the chat box. Just go to the order page, folks. You don't need to go to the big marketing page. I've already explained everything that's on there. That was kind of a waste of time on my fault. Matt, well, what are you calling for? Howard, I am concerned that you are a guru. I need to think for myself. Help me to learn, think for myself. Howard, I don't think you attended yesterday, because if you did, you didn't hear what I said. I don't want you here forever. Folks, when you go to Top Gun, you get the knowledge and you go back to the fleet. Howard, the best thing that could happen to me and to you is in a year, 6 months from now, whenever it is, you send me an email, Wiz, I got it. I'm good to go. Folks, this isn't, I'm not throwing fish at you down your throat. I'm teaching you how to fish. So I appreciate you saying that, Howard. I'm not a guru, man. Dude, I was you. I was a retail trader. But I'm teaching you everything that I learned as a retail trader that pulled me up to the big leagues up in Chicago and started my own company. Does that make sense? I'm not a guru. People might call me that. I'm teaching you how to do this, man. Bob, great. I could show you my active trades. I can show you my Excel sheets and stuff like that. But if you're going to wait for that, and we have 50 people, you can wait until January. So. Because if you are not a registered investment advisor or a broker dealer, you are prohibited from doing that. And I know people that are out there doing that. And if I was bored, I could pick up the phone and put a lot of my competitors out of business, but I'm not that type of guy. So sure. Tamara, I'm mainly here because this is my family. That's awesome. Larry, that's what this is all about, teaching us how to do it. That is awesome. So Howard, I love what you said, but this is not Top Gun Options is not about me throwing trade ideas at you. Matter of fact, that's why it took me what, Howard? 40 minutes to get to a trade. Why? Because I'm trying to teach you to think for yourself. Does that make sense, man? So if I were a guru, here's what I would have done. We would have been in here for about 7 minutes, and I would have thrown the volatility trade at you and said, thank you, good night, try the veal. That's not what I'm doing. I'm teaching you this strategic, operational, and tactical methodology. I'm teaching you how to use a 7-step trade plan. My greatest metric of success, Howard, is when you leave saying, I got this. I failed if in 6 months to a year, you don't know how to do this on your own. My number, and I appreciate you saying this because I'm going to add that to like my opening spiel going forward. This is not, I abhor services like that. A lot of our victims, a lot of our current members who are victims of services like that. Man, I got this alert about a double reverse butterfly on some biotech I'd never heard of, and I did it, and I lost $5,000. I'm like, good, you deserve that. Folks, you're going to get respectful truth over artificial harmony out of me. I'm going to teach you how to do this. It's up to you as to whether or not you can do it. I can give you all the tools in my toolkit, but it's going to be up to you. Okay, Matt. Yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes if you're on a government computer, it'll, the eyes are listening. Howard, so Greg's been here for a couple years. Greg says, Howard, there's no one in the industry that is teaching you how to. No, there's no one in the industry that is teaching you how to trade better than TGO. Thanks, Greg. I appreciate that. That's awesome. So Howard, hopefully hearing from other folks has helped you out. All right, man. I got to get going. I have a Howard. Greg says, or Greg. Howard says, thank you. I got a coaching session here in about 20 or 36 minutes. I got to go to. Got to get ready for my brief tonight, and then take a look across the portfolios at anything else. If anyone tells a trade without running through your SOP, you're setting yourself up for failure. Don't join TGO. Thanks, Larry. That's what I'm trying to do, man. Teach people how to have an SOP. Teach people how to do all this stuff. I want you to do it on your own, man. I'm passionate about what I do. I'd love for you to hang out here forever, but and some people do just because we become friends and they become part of the family. So, all right, guys, I got to go. Sorry for going so long. Accelerated retirement is usually only an hour, but we had to do the open the door for 50 new members, and I think we're more than halfway there, which is the first time we've hit that in a long time. I think all the volatility of the last quarter is really making people wake up to some things. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Welcome aboard to all the new members. If you're a new member, start downloading the manuals, start watching some of those videos, but we're going to do some training tonight. So, all right. Have a great rest of your night or day, and I'll see you, many of you, tonight for a full throttle. Grab your slot before they're gone. At 50, we're done, and we're going to take no more people until I think Susie told me our next full throttle is in January or February. So maybe we'll see you then. All right, guys, God bless, and I'll see you tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern. How do I sign up? It's right on the screen, folks. There's a link in the chat box. So over here on the right, there's a chat box. Everybody see all these links over here? I just posted again, or just type this in, go.topgunoptions.com/FT-order. Okay. So Ron, that's where you go. And I'll actually send this directly to you since you asked that question. All right, everybody else, you're cleared off. Let me just get that link to Ron, and Ron, welcome aboard. All right, guys, I'll see you tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern. God bless. We'll see.